Oh yeah, especially with the frizzy stuff, because you know how it's bad here in
And in
Florida.
Florida with the weather
Mhm.
and especially with the humidity, and then my
Mhm.
hair is so damaged at the ends. I got all kinds of
Mhm.
lotions and potions and hair potions
Mhm.
and oils and creams and all
Mhm.
kinds of stuff. And then for the face and trying to beat back time, you
Mhm.
know, I'll believe anything they say on TV or whatever.
Oh
But
yeah.
I've been using Elemis, which is
Mhm.
you get it from Macy's, which is really good stuff. I've been
Mhm.
using it for a long time. And I used Cindy Crawford for a while, her stuff,
Mhm.
but after a while, it didn't do anything.
Yeah. Yeah,
Stop
and I was
growling.
seeing that your every time that you would go in the ring, it was so funny because you'd hit everybody with your Gucci purse. I'm like, no, not your Gucci
Yeah, I know, yeah. But I still have it too. We used
purse.
it. We used it. She got it away from me. Chelsea Green got it away from me a couple weekends ago at
Mhm.
WrestleCon and used it. She was going to hit my guy, and she hit her husband with it
Oh
instead. It was really good.
no.
It was really
Jeez.
good.
I would put like pennies and coins and stuff like that. And you have been there bricks? No.
No, no bricks. I can't tell you what's in there. It's just a trade secret.
It's a trade
I'll
Amelia,
get out
secret.
and kill
questions.
you.
Do what now?
Questions, Amelia.
Oh yeah, of course. I have plenty of questions, and I remember
Yeah.
that the day you were getting married, and how proud you were. I saw that look on your face when your dad was walking you down the aisle with the Confederate uniform on.
Uh-huh.
Wait, was that planned, or is that something that he just thought of last
No,
minute?
we had a Halloween party and we came dressed as a bride and a groom and got married.
Mhm. Oh, how
So
awesome.
Really?
yeah, only my parents knew. I think a few people kind of figured it out or whatever that we
Mhm.
were going to do it, but most people didn't know we were going to do it. So
Oh, so that was
Wow.
like a last
Okay.
minute.
yeah,
That's pretty neat.
Wow.
because we were going to get married in November, and I was like, well, why should we have to do two parties and pay for two parties? I'm cheap, you know. I'm being on a budget over here. I go, why don't we just invite
Yeah.
everybody to a costume party? We'll come dressed as a bride and a groom, and we'll get married. And he was like,
There you
Mhm.
okay.
go. Kill
And
two
that
birds
way,
with one
that
stone.
way with him, he would never forget the anniversary.
Exactly. Might as well
Yeah,
have one anniversary day, and that's it. And that way he won't remember. He'll remember.
exactly.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I got
That's.
a question for you.
Sure.
Um, I'm going to bring it back to WCW. Um, there was an incident that took place. I guess it was somewhere around. Wanting to think maybe nine. I'm wanting to say maybe like 92, 93. Um, what happened with you and Eric Bischoff?
Oh
That-
my God. Bishop
yeah.
still talks bad about me on his podcast every week. He loves bashing me. And I'm like, dude, it's been 30 years. Get over it.
Mhm.
Like, let's
Oh
move
yeah.
on with our lives. Life's too
Yeah.
short to keep that grudge and that evilness inside of you. Eric
Yeah.
Bischoff
Mhm.
fired me because basically me and Jason broke up, and he was best friends with he weaseled into Jason's life because he thought
Mhm.
Jason could help him get his kids team challenge. He had this TV show that he wanted to do, Kids Team
Right.
Challenge or something. And so he came out to LA. I let him stay at my house, well, mine and Jason's house. Let him drive my Corvette, to go all around and try to pitch his show and everything. Well, then him and Jason become really good friends. And then when me and
Mm-hmm.
Jason broke up, he fired me. That was one of the reasons why he fired me, is because of Jason.
Okay.
And that's why I sued mainly to get my money that they owed me for the hotline and for my calendar and everything else. And then I started thinking about, well, you know what? I never had a dressing room in XYZ places. And certain people that had less experience than me were making over $150,000 a year more than me. I was the lowest paid person there,
I
the
heard
lowest
that.
paid talent there,
Yeah.
and
Well,
I
it's
made the
hard to
company.
imagine that.
I know,
It's
and I
hard.
made the company 1 year just off the hotline alone $500,000. Then I
Yeah.
got
Mhm.
zero. So,
You
and they
got, well,
screwed me the
back up.
next
You
year
got
when they gave me a check
zero.
for 30,000, saying, "Oh, that's your commission." And I'm like, I'm supposed to get 20%. That's not right. And then the last year they gave me nothing. And I mean, they screwed
Wow.
me around totally. I was told one time that I should be glad that I have a job, that I'm in a man's world, and I should be glad that I have a job, and the reason why I get paid less is because I don't have a wife and family to support.
Oh, that's bullshit.
I know. So
Amelia, you got to. You're a woman. You got to say something about that. You're
Well,
the pit bull.
Right? I mean, exactly. I mean, just because it's you don't have a wife and family doesn't mean anything. You're in the business as
First of all,
well
it's
to make.
that's a very sexist thing to
That's
say.
a sexual
Very sexist.
harassment
They were
thing right
very
there.
sexist.
Yeah,
Were
Ted Turner,
were
Ted
any?
Turner married a communist bitch. What do you expect?
yes.
I mean, this is
Well,
when
let me
Turner
ask
owned the
you
place.
You turned
a
around and sued them,
question
right,
about
for
that.
sexual
Yeah,
harassment. Yes.
yeah. I sued
I
him
have
for
a
everything.
question about that. Did you ever
Mhm.
consider, or were any kind of proceedings ever brought against Bischoff or WCW for harassment or
No, I mean just my lawsuit.
Mhm.
They,
okay,
Bishop is still mad because I got money out of it. I didn't get a lot of money. I didn't
right,
get a lot of money, but I got some money, but not a lot. And my
right,
lawyers got a lot.
yeah,
My
sure,
lawyers
they
got
always
like
do.
half. But because it went to arbitration. But Bishop still to this day is like got like such a thing up his ass about it that
Yeah,
I don't know why. I'm like, dude, get over it. It's time to smile and say kumbaya,
yeah.
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
that'll
Yeah. He's
never
always had
happen.
such an ego, even on and off the camera for him
Oh
too.
yeah,
Always.
yeah.
That
You
I
know,
Yeah.
just don't understand. You know what? Wrestling, as far as it's come, and I'm glad
Hmm.
it's at least evolved. It's still very much run by the boys. It's
yeah.
still a boys' club.
Hmm.
I
Um,
think so.
I would love to see the day when there's a woman in charge of the
Well, there
boys.
was Dixie Carter was in charge, but it still
Well,
didn't.
yeah, but you know what, Missy,
She was a
I
dim.
know
She
a
was a
little.
friggin' light bulb too short, or whatever that. I don't know what the saying is.
Hmm.
One pack short of a six pack or something. I don't know.
She was about four. She was about four. How they say? She was 4 beers short of a 6 pack.
Yeah,
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. There you
exactly.
go.
That's it.
But here's the
Yep.
thing. Dixie was, in my opinion, and people can get mad at me if they want. I don't care. Dixie was a money mark.
Yeah,
That that
exactly.
that's what she was, a woman who had a shitload of
And her
daddy's
daddy had
money.
the money, not her.
Yeah, her daddy had a shit ton of money, and she liked to see half naked
And
guys.
she friggin' just, and that could have been such a great company. And they were on Spike TV and stuff.
Yeah,
And, and they weren't supposed to have Bishop there, and she had him there. And then they got canceled off of Spike or something. I don't know what the whole thing was, but it's like you had something that if I had it, I could have turned that into $1 billion business.
yeah.
I would
Hmm.
have kicked Vince's ass, you
Yeah,
know.
what happened was, as I know a little bit about that, Eric was brought in along with Vince Russo.
Yeah. Oh, it was Vince Russo's the one that
Hmm.
they didn't want. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And so what happened was, Jeff Jarrett being, that was her asshole buddy was Jeff Jarrett, you
Right.
know, and well, I don't even want to go with the possibilities of that relationship. Oh my god. Um, but could you imagine being in the middle of the boardroom discussing, you know,
Yeah.
TN
She didn't know about the
TNA or whatever the hell it
business,
was?
and they just used her as a money mark.
That's all she was. She really was. She was a money mark. I felt bad for her, but you know what? You can only feel so bad to a certain degree because
Yeah. I mean,
she
because
let
she
herself
had
in.
something great. She
Yeah.
had something great on Spike TV. You could have beat Vince McMahon's butt in
Oh
the
my God.
ratings.
Yeah. Well,
But
Yeah.
what do you think about AEW? What do you think about the job they're
I
doing?
love it. I think it's
Hmm.
great. I'm not so much a big fan of the older Khan of his dad because he
Mhm.
wants to remove Confederate statues all over Florida.
Yeah. That's
And
ridiculous.
you weren't even born in this country. What do you know about our history?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. It's
And it's
happening
like I'm a
everywhere.
living historian. I can teach you about history. I'd love to
Yeah.
go and sit down and talk to Mr. Khan and explain to him what the Civil War was about. It
Yeah.
wasn't about slavery. It was about states' rights, and it was about
Hmm.
rights to predetermine, and it was about rights, and it was representation with it was taxation without representation. The
Hmm.
same thing we fought the Revolutionary War over.
Exactly.
Same
Yes.
exact thing.
Yeah.
And,
Hmm.
the
And people
South was
don't know
getting
that.
screwed. The
No.
South
Hmm.
was getting screwed. And and I think it's all right. I wish DeSantis would succeed from the union now. I'm going to
Yeah.
be working on this campaign when we start up in a couple of months, going door to door because
Yeah.
I'm a big time Republican. But I wish I could have a talk with him and explain to him about our history, and then maybe he wouldn't spend so much money and time and effort in getting monuments
Yeah.
removed. He's had monuments removed all over Jacksonville, St. Augustine, and everywhere else. And
Yes, and
I don't like that.
I would love to
yeah.
have you. We're going to do a show, Missy, on cancel culture. I
Oh
would
yeah,
love to have you on that show with Amelia and I.
Yeah. And
yeah.
even
Okay,
the
I'll do
removal
that.
of the
I would
TV show
love
Dukes of
to have
Hazzard
you.
just because the flag was on the General Lee. There's nothing to do with that at all. They
Yeah,
removed
I
that
got
show.
I got
yeah,
a Confederate flag bikini. I wear it all the time. You know, I've worn it a bunch. I
Yeah.
wear it to the
Yeah.
beach. Let someone say
Hmm.
something to me about it.
Exactly.
You
We
know, then
have
I'll
them
give them a
here.
history. I'll give them a history
Yeah.
lesson 101. Something they
Yeah.
don't teach in schools because you got these liberal teachers. They don't teach that
Mhm.
shit.
No,
And you should see
it
the
yeah.
books.
frustrates me.
Oh my
Yeah.
God, the books, like World War II is like 2
Hmm.
pages. Civil War is 2 pages, and all it is
Yes.
about slavery. I mean,
Yeah.
Hmm.
come on. Slavery
Yeah.
was going out of vogue anyway because the cotton gin and the American
Hmm.
Revolution or the what do you call that? I'm sorry. I get it confused all the time. The Industrial Revolution
Yes.
was
Hmm.
coming along. So
Yeah.
slavery was not going to be around for much longer anyway.
Right.
But the thing is they made it, you know, and Lincoln even said, if I can win this war without freeing the slaves, I'll do it.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Now he only
Exactly.
did it to hurt the South.
Incredible.
He
I,
Yes.
w-
didn't
I
do it for any. It wasn't because he was a great emancipator. Because he positioned Congress. He went to Congress and asked for ships and money to send them all back to Africa,
Hmm.
and they wouldn't do it. They
Yes.
wouldn't
we
give him the
have
money to do it.
Leon Barfield is in our chat room and says, Missy, maybe you should seek an office.
Yes. Exactly.
Run for
I
office.
can't. I don't want that.
Yeah.
And my kids were
Well, Leon
proud
wants
and
you to run
born
for
in
office.
Tennessee.
I'm too right. I'm too right wing. They
I
think
am
I'm.
too.
Yeah. Yeah. And my kids were
I'm
proud
just
and
right
born
of
from
Attila the
Tennessee.
Hun.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you got to be proud from where you're from.
Yes.
I'm very proud. I fly
Yes.
the Bonnie Blue flag out in front of my
Hmm.
house.
Yes.
I'm a proud first generation American, first
Hmm.
generation Floridian, and I am
Hmm.
proud to be that. You know,
And I tell my kids
I
to
think
be
I think
proud.
immigration is wonderful if it's done
Hmm.
correctly and if
Yes.
it's done the right way, not just jumping
Hmm.
our fucking border and then birthing a baby and then staying here because the
Exactly.
baby's an American
Exactly.
citizen. You know,
Exactly.
I mean, I
Exactly.
And
just, I don't, you know, I think you do it the right way. You come here the way my mom did it, the way
hmm.
her, you know, the way they
Hmm.
did it. You don't sneak into a country and then expect to
Hmm.
have everything given to you.
Hmm.
You know, that's
Exactly.
all bullshit to me.
Exactly.
And
And
even the
that's
I
what I'm
people
agree.
I
trying to fight
talk
for
to
that.
that
Absolutely.
do it the right way, that
Hmm.
wait the 2 years or wait the year or you know 3
Hmm.
years or however long it is. Because I was
Hmm.
talking to a guy on an airplane and he was talking about how his wife works at Florida State University and he's from France and they wanted to get their family out of France because what's happening in France right now
Hmm.
with the Muslims and the Christians.
Yes.
And he said, you know, we had to get out of there. And he said it took him like 3 years to get a permit to work. And he was like a stay-at-home dad because he couldn't get a job. It took him like 3 years to get a green card. And he go, but
Yeah.
I did it the right way. He goes, it makes me so mad these people coming over the border and working
Hmm.
Yeah.
illegally.
Hmm.
Yes.
You know, and I know the guy that did my roof was bonded and secured, but I know the guys that he had working on my roof didn't speak any English, that they were all from friggin' Honduras or somewhere.
Hmm.
Yes.
You know, he'd bring them in a truck and then they'd get out and he'd leave them here with a big jug of water and get on the roof and
Mm.
Missy,
build
I've got a question for you.
Yes.
What
Okay.
Ridiculous.
what can the world at large learn from the wrestling business?
Oh my gosh, nothing.
No.
I think that they
Oh my
can
God,
learn
nothing.
is
How to be
if
a
you took it
heel. How to be a
over,
chicken
they would
shit
be
heel.
wrestling again.
Huh?
What's that
If you took
name?
it over, if Missy took it over, it'd be wrestling again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love
Well,
wrestling. I love
I was
wrestling. I can't help it.
I was more thinking that wrestling is a microcosm of society.
Yeah.
It
I mean, it changes with the times, which I really like that it changes with the
Yeah.
times.
And
Hmm.
so
Yeah,
what
it
can
really
we
does.
learn? Can we glean anything as a society from what we see in wrestling?
No, nothing, because I think it's too far fetched. I think it's
Okay.
too out there. You know,
Well,
people
I
love to
happen.
go and cheer for the bad guy and cheer for the good guy, and they love to see bad versus good. You know,
Well,
that's just human nature. It's
mm,
like the gladiator sports
Yeah,
back in Roman days.
yeah.
exactly.
It's the same thing. You know, and if
Exactly. Yeah.
somebody bleeds by accident, ooh, that's even
Hmm.
better.
Yeah. Right.
Or if a girl's top pops off, ooh, that's even better. That's better than blood.
So I
Uh,
asked you what your proudest moment was. Now we're going to go on the opposite end of the spectrum.
mhm.
What was your the moment, your cringeworthy moment that you, if you could take
Uh,
it back?
well, when my boob fell out on TV and they got a picture of it, I would take that back.
Well,
My
yeah,
boob
that was
popped
a
out.
big deal at the time. That was a
Yeah,
big deal. What? Tell
I
everybody
had
what happened.
wardrobe malfunction.
Yeah, long before Janet Jackson.
Yeah, please, I'm the first lady of everything. First
So
lady
you
of the
had
wardrobe
Exactly.
malfunction.
so let me set this up for people. So Missy had a wardrobe malfunction on live television. The ringside photographer snapped a picture of it, and all of a sudden now it's a big deal. So you go into the CNN center, right, to go for a
Mhm.
photo shoot, and so they have that like big blown up
Yeah, well,
poster.
it's a 12 by 10, 8 by 12 or whatever picture,
Right, they
of it
they
hanging on
blew
the
it up and
wall.
they somebody put it on a wall.
Yeah.
Okay, so
I was like,
tell
oh my
everyone.
God, my boob is up there. My boob is on the wall. You know?
Incredible. And
I
so
mean,
what
if he would have asked me or something, I would have probably said, yeah, okay, you can put it up there. But I didn't even have any say over it. You know,
yeah.
that's what pissed me off more than anything. And I took it down, crumpled it up, and threw it away. And something told me, you need to go back and get that. I went and got it, took it to Eric, told Eric, I want an apology. All I wanted
Yeah.
was an apology and
Yeah.
didn't get it. So
Hmm.
pissed me off,
Yeah.
you know.
Well, I mean, that's like kind of a big deal, It's granted, it happened on live television, but they
Yeah,
didn't
it was
have
so
to.
funny because it was the Nasty Boys against who was it? It was Hawk and somebody else, and Hawk's going kayfabe the boob, kayfabe the boob.
Yeah, right.
And I looked down, and I was like, "Oops."
Yeah, right. So yeah, that was. But they made a big deal out of it at the time.
Yeah,
And look, a live wardrobe malfunction is going to last 30 seconds, and people are going to forget about it.
right.
But taking that picture made
And
that
putting it up
moment
there for everybody to see.
exactly. It made
Yeah.
that moment, you know, bigger than what it was, and it should have been just, here and boom, boom, off to the next one.
Yep.
You know, it certainly wasn't the first, and won't be the last wardrobe malfunction on
No,
live TV. I
not
can
at
assure
all.
you that.
Yeah.
I'm positive.
Amelia,
Yes,
questions for
Chef.
Missy Hyatt.
Who is the most unfavorite valet to work with, other than, of course, Sunshine?
Good
No,
question.
Sunshine was great to work with. I loved working with Sunshine. I wish I knew where she was. I would go out and take her out to dinner and stuff.
From
Um,
what, yeah, from what I
I
understand, I
would
think she's in
say
Florida
Dark
somewhere.
Journey. I would say
Journey.
Dark Journey, but me and
Hmm.
her have become really close friends. She's my sister. She's my sister now. I'm her mommy's sister. Um, we really became really good friends. But at the time, she beat my ass every night. Beat my
What?
ass every night. To the point that I was like, "Ah!"
Is
Like
that what
that.
happened with your elbow that one time? I guess you had broken
No,
elbow
that
at
was
one time.
Lori. That was Sandman's wife. They hit me with
Oh
the
my gosh.
Oh,
cane on the
Sandman.
elbow. But
Oh.
they took me to the hospital and gave me a shot of Demerol or whatever. And I was like, when I came back, I was like, I'm gonna kick her ass. They gave me that shot. I was like, I love everybody. I want you to come up here and give me love. You know?
She was
Oh,
happy
man.
after that.
I was very happy after that.
I'm sure you
I was like,
were.
break my other elbow. Let me have another shot.
I'll bet you was a happy camper, boy.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
damn.
I can
So,
imagine after that.
go ahead,
Yeah.
Amelia.
No, you go ahead. You had a question. Go ahead.
Well, no, I got lots of questions, but, I'm sure you do. Here's the thing.
Mhm.
No, did you have one?
Well, no, I was
Go
just
ahead.
gonna let her know that the time that you had your hair all, real pretty poofy like that, a lot of us girlfriends were like, we're gonna be like Missy Hyatt, except for,
Oh
I didn't want
yeah.
to dye my hair blonde because I couldn't, but we had it all puffy and everything like that because we were
Yeah,
gonna
I
have a
had it
Missy
all
Girls Club.
teased.
Yeah, in
Do you know
school we
one
And
had
time
our
the,
own
the
Missy
hair
I
was
went to
Girls
up
go
too
get
Club.
my hair and
high.
makeup
Yeah,
done
we
at the
had our
hair
blue jean
salon?
jackets.
When
Every
I went to
Friday
get my
we'd
hair
have.
done at the hair salon,
Uh huh.
they used like two sets of curlers
Yes.
to roll my hair, and they
Yep.
left like a curler in one
Oh
time
my
because I
God.
guess they didn't see it. The hair was so big. And I
So
remember
the
I was driving,
story.
I put my head back, and I was like, "What is that?
What
Oh my
is
God,
that,
there's a curl."
right?
I left it in there because I didn't want to mess the hairstyle up. And then when I was
Mhm.
done
That's
doing the
funny.
TV tapings, then I took it
Mhm.
out. But
Yep.
yeah, I
So
had a
the
curler
story
stuck in my hair.
goes, there's a. I got to find out if it's a true story or if it's wrestling. Wrestling fiction. The
Okay.
Mhm.
story goes that you and Eddie Gilbert walk into Todd Gordon's jewelry store in Philadelphia,
Uh huh.
and there was a store full of people, and that you laid down on the counter.
Yeah.
It's true. So there, she admitted it. So
Yeah.
what happened? Why did you lay down on the jewelry?
I don't remember, but I was not laying up on the diamonds.
Yeah, the
Diamonds
diamonds
are
and
a
gold and
girl's best
Best
friend. I never
friend.
met
Yeah.
a hater enough to give him back his diamonds.
Yep.
that was
Yep.
funny. So you don't know why you did it. You just
I don't remember. I don't
She was
know.
having fun.
uh,
She was having
Yeah,
fun
just
that
for the
having
night.
hell of
fun.
it. I'm
Yep.
just gonna lay down on some
Mhm.
gold, diamonds, and
Mhm.
silver and whatever to find. What the
Yeah.
hell?
Yep. Yeah.
Well,
Cause
okay,
that.
so diamonds are a girl's
Yeah.
best friend, right?
Oh yeah, we had
Yeah.
fun. We all had our because I remember it was prom, so we all decided we had dates, so we all dressed up in the shiny outfits. I had like a turquoise, one had the blue, and one had the pink, and we had our hair poofy. We were gonna dress up, of course, like you. So we all walked into prom all shiny and
Oh,
stuff. We were like
I
this.
love
It,
it.
it was so much fun.
That
Oh yeah,
makes me feel good.
oh yeah. And
That
I
makes me
told them, I
feel
said one day
wonderful.
I'm gonna meet Baby Doll and I'm gonna meet Missy Hyatt, and they were like, yeah, whatever, bullies, But guess what? I met my bullies. I
Oh,
matched my
good.
bullies,
Oh,
didn't
I'm
I?
so glad.
I made it
I
happen
love
for
Baby
her.
Yeah,
Doll. She's one of the
yeah.
coolest people in the whole wide
Mhm.
Oh,
world.
we
Yeah.
love it.
Oh yeah. And so
Nicola
you could.
has been on our show
Mhm.
5 times already.
Mhm.
Oh,
Yeah.
really? Oh, she's
Yeah,
Yeah.
she's been here
awesome.
5 times. Oh
Mhm.
yeah.
And
In
because of
fact, I
you, for
think I
you,
might have.
and Baby Doll, I told I can tell my bullies, ha ha. Guess what I did?
Yeah,
I think
exactly.
you know what,
Mhm.
Misty. I think I sent you. I might have sent you
Mhm.
the link for that show
Mhm.
where Nicola was on.
Oh, okay.
It
Mhm.
might be in your Instagram message box
Okay, I'll have to look.
Mhm.
or whatever they call that thing.
Mhm.
Okay.
She does all that shit. I don't touch it. I'll
Oh
get
yeah,
lost.
I'm so
I do. I'll
I
mess it up.
Twitter. I love to
Mhm.
Twitter. When I'm watching
Mhm.
wrestling,
That's
I
me.
do the
Yep.
Twitter, and then Facebook's more for my hobby. Yeah, I
There you
try to
go.
keep them separate. And then my
Yeah.
beauty over time videos for beauty stuff.
Mhm.
I try to keep everything
Mhm.
separate, but it some overlap.
So
Mhm.
I want to talk about how you got involved. 'Cause now that we're done with the wrestling stuff, finally,
Mhm.
Hmm.
I want to talk about how you got involved in this because you and I both have a love of history,
Oh
um,
yes.
Mhm.
and I want to talk to you about uh, why history is so important to you and how you gotten involved in reenactments. So walk me
Well,
through that.
I was a history geek ever since I was a young kid, because my dad was in World War II, and he used to tell
Mhm.
stories, and so I would read about it. And my mom was from Germany, and the Germans weren't the bad guys in my household growing up. The Japanese were, because my dad fought the Japanese,
Right.
and so I couldn't understand how, if Russia we're against Russia now, because it's during the Cold War, when I was young, we'd have to hide under our chairs and stuff like that. And I'm
Yeah.
like, how, why is Russia was our ally. Now they're not. And I can never understand that. But Germany wasn't, but now they are. So
Yeah.
I started reading up on it and reading it and reading it and reading it. And I remember
Mhm.
about 20 years ago, I met a guy in a bar. And for some reason, I said, I know more about Germany and World War II than anybody else in the bar. And he was like, no, I do. And I'm like, no, I do. So we start one-upping each other. Well, what is this? So what is this? What
Yeah.
what was Operation Barbarossa? What was we're like trying to say, what was Hitler's dog's name? This is stuff, just
It was
that
dog.
only geeks know, only geeks know. And so he's like, oh my God, you're the first girl I've ever met that knows so much about Germany and World War II. He goes, well, you know, I do living history. And I'm like, what? I knew that they did Civil War because I grew up in Tallahassee and they do it down the street at Natural Bridge. But but I never had been to it. And I was like, really, you do? And I was living in New York, and this was in Florida when I met him. And so that next year, I went to the first Battle of the Bulge in Fort Indian Gap, Pennsylvania, and had a blast and fell in love with it. And now, you know, probably $40,000 later, and the whole field hospital display that I purchased, that I buy all stuff for it all the time. You know, I got into it and I love it and it's fun. And I love teaching the public about the German Red Cross because I do German Red Cross nurse as my persona or whatever.
Yeah.
And I like being somebody else. You know, it's like wrestling, you know, you're somebody else. And then when I do,
well, there you go.
When I do Civil War, I'm Mrs. DuPont. And my husband got killed by the Yankees for selling beef to the North and the South. But I'm also a spy for the Union too, because I want to get to New York because there's no men down here. They're all off to war. They're either 18 or 80. And they either have no arms or no legs. And so I'm trying to get to New York to get a Stein or a Schickelgruber because they got lots of money. So I can go out to California. So you know, I have like a whole persona that I use and do and talk to the public and educate the public about the Civil War.
Let's talk about the North and the South. I happen to be a big fan of shows like Roots.
Oh, yeah.
And
I'm watching North and South again. The costumes are really horrible.
Well, I'm going to ask you about that. It's a great
story.
I have the entire, you're going to love this. I have the entire unopened set on videotape.
Oh, wow.
The entire unopened set one. And I have it also on DVD.
Oh, yeah.
So let's talk about because some people have been very critical of the perceived historical inaccuracies of the North and South. So let's talk about whether you think the North and South as a show was historically accurate, or
I think it was historically accurate in the time that there were men that became best friends that were from the North and the South, and you also had brothers fighting brothers, cousins fighting cousins.
Mm-hmm.
You had some people in North Carolina that fought for the North and some that fought for the South.
Yeah,
in North Carolina and Virginia. Like Lee said, Lee was supposed to command the Union Army. But he said, no, my state's Virginia. I'm going with my state. Wherever my state goes, I'm going with them.
Yeah.
You know, Lee was undoubtedly the best general of the Civil War. And even though he lost, he was still the best general.
I've heard that.
You know, Sherman's march and the shit that Sherman did was just unconscionable to the South.
Why did Robert?
I'm still pissed. And I wasn't even, and I'm not even, I'm a first generation. Yeah.
Why? Well, I was going to say, why did Robert E. Lee not garner more of the notoriety he should have back in the day?
I don't know. And it's a shame they took his statue down.
Yeah,
and the other thing down. They changed the name of his college.
Yeah, and it bothers me, even at the time. But again, history has a way of
repeating itself.
Yeah, and you know, not only it does repeat itself, but
look what's happening in the Ukraine right now with Russia.
True enough.
Let me tell you, like I tell people, I go, history's not there for you to like or dislike. It's better if you dislike it, because then you'll wonder more about it, and then you might not repeat it if it's there to offend you.
Exactly.
So in your face stuff. I mean, you know, it's like the Holocaust. Like, we got to remember the Holocaust. So that shit doesn't happen again.
Exactly.
But it's happening over in the Ukraine right now. Mm-hmm. You know, the Russians are killing people and just mass graves everywhere.
Yes, they are.
And it's happening, and it's genocide of the Ukrainian people.
And we've got a president that is so utterly weak. He's got no backbone. He's got no balls.
And you know what I don't understand? It's like, we should not be arming the Ukrainians. I'm sorry. I hate to say that. And I know I'll probably get a lot of backlash about it. But us
I agree with
$30 billion and a bunch of weapons, we've heard Putin say, "I've got shit that will destroy you, and I will destroy you." He's cut off natural gas to Bulgaria and Poland for helping them.
Yeah.
That's just cutting natural gas. You know what? He's got his trigger. He's got his finger on the button of some nukes.
Yeah. That's
He's ready to use
That's
them.
not a man I want to fuck with.
No.
Yeah.
You know, and if you're going to give 50 howitzers or 50 anti-aircraft guns to Ukraine, you need to give 50. You need to be impartial and give 50 to the Russians. You know, like I say, when my husband, Mr. DuPont, was selling beef to the North and the South, he's French. He is you know, he's neutral. He sells to both sides the same amount.
Yep.
You know, if you're going to be neutral and you're not going to be in it, if you take sides, then you better have it to back up. And I don't think we should be doing that. I mean, refugee and sending in food and sending in aid is fine. Sending in aid and food and getting people out of there.
Yeah.
But you got to send in aid and food to the Russians too. You know, you just can't be one-sided on this, because you know what? You might pick the wrong side.
Yeah. And you never know until you do it, right?
Yeah.
Exactly.
You know, you never know.
And I'm still waiting for all these good things that supposedly these people voted Biden for, to say what he was going to do, all these good things. Where are they?
Good things.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
He ain't gonna do nothing. He can't even know. He doesn't even know how to salute the troops. He can't do nothing.
Oh, he was too busy looking at his watch when the soldiers were coming back. Did you see that?
No, what?
Yeah, when the soldiers that were coming back from the war,
he was
too busy doing this instead of doing this to the soldiers.
Right. Oh, I know.
Yeah, it was horrible.
He's a bubbling idiot. He's been in Washington for 40 years and never done shit.
The man doesn't know its name unless it's written down in front of him.
It was horrible. I'm like, okay, people, y'all voted him, this idiot, in. Where is he?
I want all those people that voted for him, but they're all
exactly where's all the good stuff you said he was going to do? I'm waiting here.
Yeah, I'm waiting too.
Yeah,
I've got to have Missy Hyatt back on one of our other shows. Oh man.
Oh yes, we're gonna have more things to talk about.
Culture, I could have you back on. Oh my God, the oh man, any one of these shows, I want to.
Yes, absolutely, and especially in November, I want to come see you and interview you.
November, that'll be fun. You can
absolutely.
And Rabbi Rob has all these tanks that he brings, and it's really fun.
Here you go. These are just a list of the shows that were ideally made for Missy Hyatt.
Oh yeah.
The politics of wrestling.
No.
Animal welfare.
I'll cut that one out because I don't want to. I'll get in trouble.
The Ukrainian-Russian war, the animal welfare, the Kennedy assassination, the 27 Club, Crime and Punishment. There you go. There's one.
That's a good one.
Oh, I could use you. Come back every week for each. Man.
You can say you've done some podcasts now.
Yeah, man. I'm going to tell you what. I'd love to have Missy Hyatt back for that. Well, young lady, I'll tell you what. Thank you so much. And
thank you for having me. I really do appreciate it.
And we are going to.
We appreciate you.
We're going to pull you out and bring you up here again. Okay. And
bye, you guys. Thank you.
Thank you.
We love you.
Missy,
Thank
you
you.
are amazing. Thank you so much for being with us, and Amelia will be in touch with you in a couple hours.
Okay, sounds good.
Take care.
Thank you
Thank
so much.
Missy.
We love
Missy
you.
Hyatt, everybody, the first lady of pro wrestling. Bye. Wonderful. That was.
She's such a sweetheart. I love her.
Amazing.
I love her so much. She's a sweetheart.
Stuff.
Yes. I could see her for lots of different shows.
You owe me, okay? You owe me. I got your baby doll. I got you
Carver Pike, and I got you Mary Murphy.
I got me Mary Murphy.
I thought of the name.
All you got me was her phone number. I called her. I spoke to her tonight.
Hey, nobody has her phone number. I didn't even have her phone number till then. Michael would never have given it to me.
Well, you know why he gave it to you? Because it was for a greater cause. Look, okay?
She didn't give it. He never gave it to me. I had to get it from her. He would never have gave it to me if I asked.
All right. Well,
That's what type of
It's all
asshole
good.
he is.
So she's
Hey,
coming. Oh, by the way, let me tell you what we got coming up.
that's what kind of
In case
asshole my
these people are
brother-in-law is.
wondering, what the hell are you guys talking about?
Hmm.
Okay, we got some stuff coming up here.
Are we still live or are we done?
No, we're still live. Yeah, you kidding me? So we've got on May 5th, Cinco de Mayo.
Yes.
And I had to learn how to say it. I spelled it
Cinco.
Cinco de Mayo.
C-I-N-C-O.
Anyway,
C-I-N-C-O.
Cinco de Mayo, we've got a horror author. Great
Yes, he's
writer's name is.
awesome.
Will you let me talk? Why are you interrupting me all the time? She does this to me every week, folks. She
Uh-huh.
interrupts me every show.
Yeah.
Carver Pike is an up and coming, amazing horror author. He's going to be joining us
Yes.
for the entire show on May 5th, Cinco de Mayo. And in fact, in honor of Cinco de Mayo, I'm going to, I think I'm going to buy a pinata and we'll break it open.
Oh,
And
yeah?
it
What's going to be
probably have
inside?
candy inside of it. Um, we've got on
It's
May
better be
10th,
sugar-free.
we're going to have I believe on May 10th, we have a ballroom dancer. Is that what we got coming on?
Yes.
When is that dancer coming on? Because you took
Uh,
care of that.
she was supposed to be on May 3rd. I'm still waiting to hear from her,
Oh,
depending
May
on her
3rd.
father.
Okay,
Uh-huh.
so it's Anna.
Anna.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Anna is tell everybody that Anna is a dancer,
Yes,
right?
all world round professional ballroom dancer champion. Anna
Okay.
Loriente.
Oh, I got you. Okay.
Hmm.
And so she is um
Latin, more
she
specifies as
does
Latin.
Latin dance.
Yes.
Okay, and Mary Murphy, of course, is more
Hmm.
ballroom and classical
All
dance.
ballroom and yes. Uh-huh.
So we're going to talk about Mary in just a second. So
Hmm.
Anna will be here May 3rd, if all goes well.
Hmm.
May 5th, Carver Pike, horror author.
Hmm.
On May 10th, we've got another show. Interesting character coming here. His name's Frankie Citro. Frankie is a past member of the underworld. We don't say mafia anymore. We say underworld.
Hmm.
And on May 12th, I'm sorry, before we even get to that, on May 11th, Bruce Valanche, Hollywood bigwig, Bruce Valanche. He is a two-time Emmy Award winner, has written for the Academy Awards. He has also written for Comic Relief. He's best known as one of the Hollywood squares right next to Whoopi Goldberg. He is the center left square. How'd you like to be known as that one? I'm the center left
That'd be
square.
awesome.
And on May 12th, Lacey J. Dalton, Country Music Hall of Famer, is going to be with us on May 17th, Tuesday, May 17th, from So You Think You Can Dance, Mary Murphy, Twinkle Toes herself. She's going to be with us. And thank you to the Chapman family for hooking us up with that one. And that is all up until that point. We've got more guests lined up as far as I'm going to tell you, though, for now, because we've got a lot of stuff coming up here.
We sure
Amelia
do.
and I have shows on the world of female bodybuilding, the drug experience, animal welfare, the Russian-Ukrainian war, the politics of wrestling, the Kennedy assassination, the 27 Club, UFOs and aliens. Are they real? Are they here? And the
Psychics.
psychic gift. We're going to talk.
Mhm.
We've got so much coming up. We're going to talk about all of that stuff and more on Wrestling with the Future presents Talk is Cheap, because tonight, ladies and gentlemen,
Mhm.
you witnessed the last official Wrestling with the Future podcast. And that is it. We are no longer in the wrestling business.
No longer.
Well, we are still wrestling with the future. Make no mistake about that. We are still wrestling with the future of politics, of freedom, of dance, of anything you want to call it. We are wrestling with the future. And We are here every Tuesday and Thursday. Amelia,
Yes.
what's coming up with you? What do you got going on?
I'm just trying to see what else I can bring here to the table because anything goes now.
Well, the table needs some chairs right now.
Right? Anything and everything goes. So bring
Yeah.
it on, people. I'm ready.
Beautiful, beautiful,
Hmm.
beautiful. Well, I'll tell you what, for Amelia Valerio Chapman, the Pitbull Chapman,
That's right.
I
And
am
nobody mess with
Mad
you,
Dog.
right? They answer to me. That's
I
right.
am Mad Dog DeCipio. Let me sign off. It's going to take me a half an hour to sign off. Oh, my God. I'm Mad Dog DeCipio. Take care of everybody, and thank you for the last 4 years. They've been great. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.